This is the voice of Turkey. This is the voice of Turkey. This is the voice of Turkey. This is the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission, broadcasting from Ankara in the 49-meter band between 1830 and 1930 UTC on 5945 kHz to Europe, between 2030 and 2130 UTC in the 31-meter band on 9875 kHz to South Asia and Australia, between 2200 and 2300 UTC in the 31-meter band and on 9830 kHz to Europe, Eastern USA and Canada, and in the 19-meter band on 15520 kHz between 1630 and 1730 UTC to Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. The Voice of Turkey is also beamed between 0300 and 0400 UTC in the 41-meter band and on 7275 kHz to Europe, the USA, Eastern Canada and Cuba, between 0300 and 0400 UTC in the 49-meter band on 6165 kHz to Iraq, Syria, Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. You can listen to us over the Turksat 3A and 4A satellites and on the internet at www.trt.net.tr through the Voice of Turkey link. Please note that transmissions broadcast between 2200 and 2300 UTC and between 0300 and 0400 UTC have been pre-recorded. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr.
And now, news in English. The United Nations Security Council has unanimously approved a resolution extending the delivery of humanitarian aid for a year from Turkey to a position held in northwest Syria, where the UN says 3.4 million people are in desperate need of food and other assistance. The resolution was adopted on Friday after the United States and Russia reached a deal on rival draft resolutions backed by the West and Moscow. UK thanks Ireland and Norway for their efforts over the last few weeks to engage Council members to find a way to meet Syria's humanitarian needs. However, what UK's envoy to UN said and added, without their superb efforts and consultation, we would not have gotten to this place. The UN has been clear over the past few months that the humanitarian needs of the Syrian people cannot be met without the renewal of the UN cross-border mandate for further 12 months. Turkey has become one of the world's leading manufacturers of armed unmanned aerial vehicles in just 15 years. French newspaper Le Monde said Friday. The newspaper examined Turkish armed drones under a separate title, a technology at the service of Turkish foreign policy, in a report on armed unmanned aerial vehicles. Two suicide drones, Cargo 2, produced by Turkish defense contractor STM, played an important role in the conflict between the legitimate Libyan government and warlord General Khalifa Haftar in the spring of 2020. It said the rise of Turkish drones in the Turkish defense industry market and their widespread use on the battlefield was also stressed as an indisputable phenomenon. In just 15 years, the country has taken its place among the world's main manufacturers with the desire to compete with the US, Israeli and Chinese models, said Le Monde. US President Joe Biden told his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin to take action against ransomware groups in Russia. The White House said in a statement on Friday the leaders spoke about the ongoing ransomware attacks by criminals based in Russia that have impacted the US and other countries and the world. The statement added, Biden underlined the need for Russia to take action to disrupt ransomware groups operating in the country and emphasized that he is committed to continue engagement on the broader threats posed by ransomware groups. President Biden reiterated that the US will take any necessary action to defend its people and its critical infrastructure in the face of this continuing challenge, it added. More than 3.35 billion coronavirus vaccine doses have been administered worldwide, according to figures compiled by Our World in Data, a tracking website affiliated with Oxford University. China leads the global count with more than 1.35 billion jobs, followed by India with nearly 369 million. Turkey is 8th on the list, followed by Italy, Japan and Indonesia. The German Federal Statistics Office revealed that more than 36,000 people died from virus-related causes in the country in 2020. Meanwhile, the death toll there rose by 31 in the past day to 91,000. Amid a surge in cases, South Korea announced its toughest restrictions, which will take effect Monday for 2 weeks in the capital Seoul surrounding Gyeonggi province. In a similar move, the Netherlands announced measures were again tightened to curb a surge. A new round of measures will be enforced between July 11 and August 13. However, the United Kingdom is poised to scrap rules on face masks and social distancing, as well as end restrictions on hospitality and working from home, although the country reported 35,700 cases in the past 24 hours. Bangladeshi officials reported that infections topped the 1 million mark. In Tunisia, the health ministry said the healthcare system collapsed from surging cases. The Turkish parliament approved a long-awaited animal rights bill on Friday. According to the bill, the sale of cats and dogs by pet shops will be banned, as such shops are not suitable for animal health and etiology. Animal circuses, water circuses and dolphin parks will also be prohibited. Cat and dog owners will be required to have digital IDs or registration and will face fines if they abandon their pets. The ruling Justice and Development Party on Thursday submitted the long-awaited bill on animal rights to the Parliament's Speaker office. Under the bill, animals will no longer be seen as products, but as living creatures. Mahir Ünal, the party's deputy parliamentary group chair, told reporters in Parliament. Parliament passed the bill before its summer recess, which will begin next week. In sports, the Tokyo segment of the Olympic torch relay kicked off with a small ceremony held behind closed doors on Friday. With just 2 weeks to go until the start of the Games, the flame was handed to Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike at the Tomozawa Olympic Park Stadium. The event was held a day after Japan announced that no spectators will be allowed at the Tokyo Olympics due to worsening COVID-19 situation in the country. Due to the impact of the novel coronavirus, the flame was sometimes impossible to be carried on public roads, but by overcoming the difficult situation with strong wishes of everyone across the country and various means, it has been connected to this point as a way of hope, Koike said at the ceremony. I would like torchbearers in Tokyo to put their respective feelings into the flame and surely connect it to the Olympic Stadium. The Olympics, which pushed ahead from last year because of the pandemic, will be held from July 23 to August 8, followed by the Paralympic Games from August 24 to September 7. And England and Italy will face each other in Euro 2020 final at Wembley on Sunday. England has been longing for the championship for 55 years, and Italy's sole success was 53 years ago, as both head into Sunday's final determined to put an end to that. Though the Three Lions may have the home advantage in London, Italy will be ruthless to end this 55-year title drought. The 1966 World Cup title, also won at Wembley, is England's only trophy, and the whole country hopes that manager Gareth Southgate and his players can end the long ordeal. However, Italy under Roberto Mancini seems not to be intimidated by the 60,000 plus crowd at the iconic arena Wembley. Italy also has history on its side, having never lost against England at a major championship. The Azzurri chases a first Euro title since 1968, while having won the World Cup twice since then, in 1982 and 2006. It was the shock of failing to qualify for the 2018 World Cup that brought Roberto Mancini indeed in and changed their fortunes. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is under a great pressure to declare a bank holiday Monday in case of victory. And that was the news and sports brought to you by the Voice of Turkey.
A world of news in 41 languages on trtvotword.com. This is the Voice of Turkey. We're bringing Turkey's voice to the whole world. A world of news in 41 languages on trtvotword.com.
You have been listening to the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission, broadcasting from Ankara in the 49-meter band between 1830 and 1930 UTC on 5945 kHz to Europe, between 2030 and 2130 UTC in the 31-meter band on 9875 kHz to South Asia and Australia, between 2200 and 2300 UTC in the 31 meter band and on 9830 kHz to Europe, Eastern USA and Canada, and in the 19 meter band on 15520 kHz between 1630 and 1730 UTC to Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. The Voice of Turkey is also beamed between 0300 and 0400 UTC in the 41 meter band and on 7275 kHz to Europe, the USA, Eastern Canada and Cuba, between 0300 and 0400 UTC in the 49 meter band on 6165 kHz to Iraq, Syria, Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. You can listen to us over the Turksat 3A and 4A satellites and on the internet at www.crt.net.tr through the Voice of Turkey link. Please note that transmissions broadcast between 2200 and 2300 UTC and between 0300 and 0400 UTC have been pre-recorded. For now though, thank you for listening to the Voice of Turkey and goodbye.